Okay, everyone, welcome to the Stock Picks Profits Market Update. And today is June 10th, 2018. So while everybody's getting signed on, we'll kind of go over the legalities as usual. Always read the disclaimer, read the fine print, get into that habit. If you're going to be a good investor, if you're going to be good with your money, you have to be good at a lot of things. One thing is reading the fine print. Remember that past performance is no indicator of future performance. Nothing in this broadcast is an offer to buy or sell any securities, actually to buy or sell any kind of tradable vehicle. It's for entertainment purposes only. We are not registered investment advisors. And like I said, just go ahead and read the disclaimer. So we'll give everyone a chance to sign on here before we get started. And that's where we are. And remember, if you need some help, just click that link. In fact, let's put it down here for you guys. We're letting everybody sign in. There you go. Now you got a clickable link there on the bottom. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Since we are... Looks like we got a bunch of people on. So welcome everybody to the Tuesday, June 10th, stockpickprofits.com market update. Let's go ahead and get started. It was kind of a good day today. So you can see the market closed up about 143 points, about 0.5% on the Dow, another 0.5%, almost 0.5% on the S&P. S&P had a nice little day today. The NASDAQ was fluxy today. Was one of those red-green days. It looked like it was going to lose its lunch there right after lunch, but it came back pretty strong. So we're still pretty much bullish on this market. It's kind of in this weird channel right now. Let's kind of take a look at that chart. This is a chart of the SPY. This is the Spiders ETF for the S&P 500. This is not the S&P 500 chart that we usually use. But you can see there, after coming off that potential head and shoulders, it looks like we broke off that right shoulder real nice, and we've created that nice uptrend there. You can see it between those two red lines. We like to keep our charting very simple for obvious reasons, right? And the worst thing you can do with investing is outthink yourself. Never second guess yourself. Don't outthink yourself. But so we'll keep it real simple, and we just got those two trend lines, and you can see we're bouncing off that trend line real nice as we keep making new highs, higher lows. That's the sign. That's your first. Welcome, Sana from Sydney. Oh, you're traveling half array around the world. But look. So that's a very bullish tone, is when you get higher highs and higher lows. And if you look at that chart, you can see every time we hit a low, we bounce off it and we make a new higher high. Every time we bounce down, we bounce at a little higher of a point. It means people are not willing to sell their stock, right? So excuse the ambulance going by. So we believe we're actually in a prime spot right now. And if you're not positioning yourself, and if you're not effectively managing your money in this market, you're going to miss a big opportunity. We got a nice soft market the last 2-3 weeks because of all this trade war nonsense. And then for a while, that immigration battle was really, really playing on the sentiment. The market doesn't really get into social stuff, but the mood dampers. And when the mood dampers of the traders, of course, things get a little soft. So what were you doing the last 2-3 weeks? Were you just kind of sitting there chewing your fingernails, not sure what to do? We were positioning. We haven't closed the trade. It's funny. The office mentioned this morning. Said, hey, we haven't closed the trade for about 3 weeks. And it's true. We've been building, and we're actually really, really happy with our building. So let's take that chart off and let's kind of move forward here. So look, we opened up a new play today. We opened up a new play on steel, and we're going to share this with one with you. If you guys think about it, what was the biggest subject of conversation in the market back in January and February? It was steel, right? It was Trump's infrastructure plan. It was the tariffs were going to kick steel into overdrive and stuff. But really, since March, you haven't heard much about the infrastructure play. You haven't heard much about the steel play, right? Everything's been about Supreme Court picks, all this other stuff, anything except what's important to the economy. So steel's been forgotten, right? That whole trade, just you never hear about it anymore. Well, we've been watching it like we always do. And we opened up a play in U.S. Steel today. So those of you that are following around as a service, we opened up U.S. Steel today. We're already up about 15-16% on that play. So, and like we said, if you need help finding these, you know where to come. We put a clickable link in the bottom there for you. So yeah, continuing on that, with all this people ignoring that steel trade, it looks like we found a nice opportunity to get into this. Again, we're rolling into earnings season on Friday, right? We've got the big banks coming out, and that's going to lead us to, we're going to give you a free pick today for all you viewers. So, an interesting thing about the market is right now, this current rally, it's about 7 on the NASDAQ 100, the tech index, a smaller one that's a little more concise. 3 stocks are really driving this rally. 78% of this rally has been Netflix, Amazon, and Microsoft. Kind of unusual, right? It's usually the other fangs, right? Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, right? And Apple, excuse me. But Apple's been participating, but it hasn't been contributing as much. But it's kind of interesting, right? Netflix had a big run. Amazon's just been making moves left and right, right? Jeff Bezos, he's starting his health, his prescription thing. He just, the news with Snapchat. There's a lot of things going on with Amazon. Microsoft's kind of quietly participated in this rally. You don't hear a lot about Microsoft. But there's great things going on in the company if you're paying attention. Microsoft just expanded their cloud services and stuff. And it's just, Microsoft's always been a great company to be invested in. So are you in any of these plays? Right now, we don't own any of these. But, if you're looking for long-term investments, can't go wrong with these, right? Really, the backbone of everything on the internet right now is those 3 companies. The big news right now is Trump's headed to Europe. He's flew out today. He's got that big Russian meeting in Helsinki on the 16th with Putin in between there. I think he's got NATO tomorrow in Brussels. He's also got a big meeting with Theresa May, who's trying to manage the Brexit situation over there. And hopefully this will be some nice bridge building. This is kind of Trump's trademark, right? Right up front, he'll blow up everything. He just blow up deals, blow up friendships, blow up relationships, whatever. If we can blow it up, blow it up. And then he kind of likes to start fresh, right, with a nice clean slate. We just know that about Trump. Look, love him or hate him, okay? He is the president of the United States, and as investors, we need to understand him. So take the time to understand him. We should all understand Trump at this point. He has a very distinct style. He has a very distinct demeanor. A lot of times you have to take it with a grain of salt, but we are investors. Our ultimate goal is to make money for ourselves, for our family, for our friends, right? So let's kind of move on from that. So yeah, that's the big news right now with the president. He left today. He'll be meeting with NATO tomorrow. That's kind of a big meeting because Trump, his big stance is that NATO, it's unfair, the contribution that the United States makes into NATO as compared to what we're getting out of it. So that could get kind of heated, right? That whole thing. We know he's anti-NATO already. Then he'll meet with Theresa May. That's a big meeting too. Big trade meeting, right? Because Theresa May is trying to navigate Britain out of the Brexit and stuff. So it's kind of interesting there. Let's kind of move on to the play of the week. Okay. Why not? So look, we want to kind of introduce this, and what we'll do is on Monday or Tuesday, we'll do it on Tuesday this week. We're going to kind of, lay out a play. Now, remember the disclaimer, right? We are not registered investment advisors. This is not a professional pick. This is for entertainment purposes only, basically. But let's go ahead and do a free pick out there. And we've identified one that we really like. And, it's probably still time to get into it. And it's just a quick earnings play. So if you're looking for a quick little swing trade, almost in between a swing and a day trade, we like Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo right now, it closed today at 56.61. If you're looking for a good earnings play, there might be some money in there if you're a scalper, if you want to maybe buy some options a little bit out. I think you can get $57 and $57.50 option. Who knows? We'll look into it a little bit more. But we like the stock overall. It's one of Warren Buffett's favorites. It's definitely one of his favorite banks, along with Bank of America. It's a company that's gone through the ringer over the last year, right? They had that fraud accusations where they had salespeople opening fake accounts and stuff like that to get commissions and stuff. And it's kind of weathered all that out. And you know what? XLF, which is the financials ETF, is down for the year, but Wells Fargo is actually up a little bit for the year. So it's kind of been bucking the course. So as XLF comes into line, as the financials as a sector, might be an extra boost. So we're going to pin that at 56.61. Okay. And let's see how this goes. We're looking at this as an earnings play, possibly selling it on Friday. So that's what we're looking at right now. Let's talk about some trade ideas, right? Yeah, everybody wants a little value from these shows. We all know it's basically our interpretations of the market. So, you guys have been so loyal and stuff. We talked with the office and we decided to start putting some ideas out there. One of the ideas that's often overlooked is we're looking at jewelers. Retailers in particular, but jewelers specifically. Jewelers have had a good run. You're talking your Tiffany's and stuff like that recently. For whatever reason, it doesn't, for some reason, it's hard to pick why they're running, but they have been. And one potential trade idea, if you guys want to take a look at it, is Signet Jewelers, SIG. SIG is Signet Jewelers, and yes, we did spell it correctly. That's how they spell it on their company. That's how the company spells it. So all you grammar Nazis, step back, okay? But, Signet Jewelers, it's been on a ferocious run lately. I think it's been on a $4, $5, $6 run in the last couple of weeks. We don't think, you have to ask yourself, if consumer spending is down and all that. I mean, the last economic report we had, the big concern was consumer spending's not kicking in, right? Who's buying jewelry, right? If the consumers aren't buying your normal stuff, are they buying a $2,000 necklace? Also, too, there's no seasonality to help it right now. We're rolling into summer. Summer's not considered your love months and stuff. But spring is gone, right? Spring is your big love month. So this new earnings report that's going to come out, let's see how it goes. We think Signet is one of those that's had a big run, and potentially there's a good short in there. So there's a little trade idea for you. Other than that, let's just kind of review real quick on that chart, because, our market outlook. So look, as long as we stay in that channel, we're still in that uptrend. Okay. So we don't want to, excuse me here. I'm sorry. We don't want to make any mistakes. We don't want to be trigger happy and stuff like that. So you want to watch it in that trend. Usually, like with the day traders and the short-term traders, what they'll do is they'll look for it to come to the bottom of that trend, and that's where they'll buy, and then they'll scalp up to the top of the trend. If they get lucky and it breaks through the top and sets a new trend, they'll carry the trade. But for the most part, they're just looking to play that trend, those two trend lines, because if you look at it, it's a nice little line. Remember, this is a chart of the SPY, the Spider ETF. It's not the S&P 500. A lot of guys looking for a breakout to 280 we see on the message boards and stuff. So we'll see how that plays out. Like we said, it's earnings on Friday, man. Earnings kick off, man, and everybody's expecting big things from bank. Will it be a disappointment? Who knows? Another trade that we did well with, we're starting to do well with, is our Pandora short we've been talking about. We don't like streaming media. We just don't think there's any money. It's too big of a pond with too many fish in it. It's just hard to capitalize on the revenue opportunities. It's a disjointed sector where, there's not a whole lot of fluidity to it. So, that Pandora short's going real well. We still got our gold hedge. And we're still looking at the market as an uptrend overall. We still like financials and banks going into Friday, especially. So let's talk about our saying of the day. Bada bing. So let's put that on full screen. This is a good one. Okay. Well, they're all good, right? This is from Chris Brogan. Brogan, I believe he's a inspirational, motivational speaker and stuff. But this is a great one too. The goal isn't more money. The goal is living life on your terms. Absolutely. Look, everybody's different, right? If you take 10 people, if you tell them, hey, I give you $100,000 right now, how will you be the next year? Some will say, oh, that's not enough to make it, to have a good living. Some might say, wow, I'm rich. Everybody's different, but we're all the same. The common denominator is living life on your terms. Are you doing things when you feel like it? Are you able to do things when you want to? Are you worried about how you're going to pay this bill? Are you worried about getting kicked out of your apartment? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? That's not living life on your terms. Now, everybody has a different number, right? My number might be 100 million, while Jen's number might be 50,000. Who knows? But the goal is, it's not about money. The goal isn't about making more money. The goal is to live life on your terms. So are you a slave to your money? Are you sitting here watching a market tick, 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 tick for 8.5 hours? Sweat coming down your forehead, stress. Are you enjoying life? Are you popping into your portfolio, making a couple moves, and boom, you're off to live life again? That's the way you should be. So if you're not, click that link. We put a live link in there on the bottom. But that's a great saying, and you guys take that to heart, okay? The goal isn't more money. Don't get into that habit. It's not a number. It's a lifestyle that you're trying to change, right? Are you enjoying life? Are you waking up in the morning feeling good? Are you looking forward to the day? Or are you just dreading that alarm clock? Okay. So look, let's go down and see if there's any questions. We got the usual crowd here. As always, Sana, welcome. I know you're traveling. It's always good to hear from you. I guess you're in Sydney right now. How's everything over in Sydney? Hope it's going well. Oh, shoot. Clicked the wrong button. But yeah, good morning, Sana. And then roll in, everybody. And don't forget, we put that link down in there. So if you're a viewer, if you're a latecomer, usually we see Chad, Marco, and stuff. But I guess they're running a little late. They're out living life, right? What's Sana doing right now? Man, she's halfway around the world from her home, but she's living life, right? Living life. Are you worried about your portfolio, Sana? Probably not, right? Okay. And then also, too, gang, keep in mind that we're going to start inviting people to be guests on the show. So if you would like to come in the show and tell your story, if you'd like to share your story and talk a little bit about your experience with the hey, there's Marco. Hey, welcome, Marco. If you want to share your story, if you want to share your experience with the service, if you want to just share some experience, hit us up in the Facebook group and we'll start looking at that. But other than that, I think that's a pretty good show for today. If you guys got any questions, yeah, welcome, Marco. Good to see you. Only one we're missing today is Chad. So I'm sure he'll show up a little later. But so let's kind of just review the show real quick and then we'll call it Tuesday. Excuse me for the ambulance. There's like a lot of that going on real quick. Let's let that one go by. Okay, so just real quick, let's do a quick review. So we're talking about the S&P, the SPDR, the SPY. This is the ETF, the S&P 500 ETF. And you can see as long as we stay in those two red lines, we're in a nice uptrend. We're making higher highs, higher lows, and we're moving towards that all-time high. If we take that out, that's huge. We opened a steel play today, right? We opened the steel play with X. If you guys are following along with us, We went out on, I think it's some $45 options, but we're up about 16% on that trade. So if you guys are looking for a trade, just kind of reviewing the market, it was 3 stocks that led the rally. Right now, about 78% of the rally is Netflix, Amazon, and Microsoft. Microsoft being kind of the surprise one there, right? Because you don't hear about Microsoft. It's not looked at as back in the like 99, 2000, 2001, Microsoft was a great tradable stock, but it's looked at more as an investment now than it is anything else. Trump's headed to Europe, so he's on the plane now, I believe, Air Force One. He'll be meeting with NATO in Brussels tomorrow. Then he'll meet with Theresa May, and then he'll head over to Russia, or he'll head over to Helsinki for the meeting with Vladimir Putin. That should be interesting, right? I'm sure they have a laundry list of on the Wells Fargo. Hey, Savar, that's did I butcher your name again? Sorry, but you know what? That's interesting because we kind of looked at it, and this is almost one, and we'll continue this conversation in the Facebook group so all the members can see it. But this is really tempting to play a lotto play, and what a lotto play is where, like, today's Tuesday. You buy something close to the money on Friday, right? That's cheap. Like, let's go take a look at it since we're doing it, right? And we're trying to give a lot more value for the casual viewer. So let's actually see if we can pick an option here. So maybe something close to Friday. You can get the 5750s for 40 cents. Let me do a quick tracking on that. I want to just do a quick tracking on that. But it's an interesting trade, and the reason we brought it up is because it is one of Warren Buffett's. Now, remember, Savar, as a service, we're already in some bank plays, so don't go crazy here, okay? Going all willy-nilly on trades. But yeah, if you can get those, let's say 5750s, you can get those for the 40 cents that was their last quote. $58 by Friday will get you 110% minimum. So 5750, if it goes to 5750, you'll get about 40%. So you can see what that tells you, brother, is that people are a little heavier on the calls. And so the premiums are a little bit more expensive because generally on those options. But let's continue this discussion with everybody in the Facebook group. That was a great question, Savar. So, and yeah, we can't give specific advice. So that's a good one. Okay. But this looks like it might warrant like a little lotto play. I don't know, if somebody's interested in that, but we like it. So that's what the stock of the week will be. It'll be a stock, and it'll just, we're not going to specify any option contracts or anything like that. We can talk about it more in the group. But as always, and everybody knows, all the viewers know that we currently have a Bank of America play. We have an AINV play going on. So we're already in that financial play. So but Wells Fargo's suiting up real nice. So, and like we said, we can continue that discussion in the thing. So look, guys, it's been a great Tuesday. As for all you members of the service, we're already up 16% on that X trade. It ran into the close, so it looks like it's really, really going to do well. We're still rolling into that Friday earnings. So let's see how tomorrow shakes out. Tomorrow's hump day. We've had 2 up days going into earnings, and now we've got hump day tomorrow. Let's see if we can get a third follow-through rally on the market, and then we'll be setting up real nice. What'd be nice is to get some good news out of this Trump trip to Brussels and to Helsinki, right? So if we get some nice news on that. We brought up the steel as a play, and then as a trade idea, shorting Signet Jewelers, we think it's been kind of extended and stuff. So there's some few ideas. Now, again, like Samuel mentioned, this is not specific investment advice. Always read the disclaimer. We are not certified investment advisors, But if you're looking for some ideas, those are some ideas. Wells Fargo going into earnings. Signet Jewelers a little extended, and really how strong are upper end jewelers and stuff like that with consumer spending going. Maybe there's a short there, right? And as a service, we opened up a play in US Steel today. So, all right, gang, it has been a great day. Samuel in particular, thank you for joining us, Samuel. I know you're busy today. All of you, thank you for taking that 15, 20 minutes out of your day for joining us. Please share the show if you love it. Don't forget the live links there in it if you want to get part of the service. We do it right, we do it transparent, and we do it really, really well. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Aloha.